Jennifer Griffin, our chief Pentagon correspondent, is able to join us now. Jennifer, what can you tell us about the situation in Iran?
Well, John, what I can tell you is that this is a joint U.S.-Israeli operation, and I'm told by well-placed U.S. officials that this is the beginning of a long operation. This is not a sort of pinpoint strike. What we're seeing now are reports from inside Iran that there are dozens of sites within Tehran targeting regime headquarters, including the president's office, as well as other leaders themselves. It is not clear who is carrying out those strikes, but this is a joint U.S.-Israel operation. And then we've seen there have been explosions in places that you would expect to see, near Qom, near Isfahan, in Bushehr, where there's a nuclear reactor. So there are strikes all over Iran taking place right now. Based on the positioning of the U.S. assets that we've been tracking for a number of days now, I would suspect that this first wave of strikes would be carried out by Tomahawk missiles. They may be coming from any number of the destroyers that are based in the Arabian Sea, or, of course, you're likely to have a submarine like the USS Georgia that can launch up to 154 TLAMs or Tomahawk missiles. The reason that you might start with those kind of missiles, and we've seen reports that over Iraq there were missiles seen firing over Iraq about 12 minutes before they landed in Iran and the first explosions began in Iran. The reasons you would start with Tomahawk missiles and standoff weapons, which is basically weapons that can be outside of Iranian airspace and fire at targets, is that they don't know at this moment in time the condition of the air defense systems that the Iranians still have. They were badly degraded during the June strikes, during the 12-day war, but it is our understanding that they had begun to rehabilitate some of those air defenses with the help of Russia and China. Iran has a number of, they had been building up their supply of ballistic missiles. They've hundreds and if not thousands of cruise missiles, but we have not heard reports yet of outgoing fire as of yet. It is most likely, again, based on what we've seen positioned in the region on those the aircraft carrier, the USS Lincoln, which is in the Arabian Sea. We've seen the Growlers, which are electronic warfare planes that are positioned forward in and attached to the aircraft carrier. Those would be used to help suppress some of the, to basically blind the Iranian defense systems. You also, I'm sure, are seeing a joint cyber attacks that would also be a way that to prevent the command and control of the Iranian military from being able to see what is coming at it. So right now, this is a massive, massive strike, joint U.S.-Israeli strike on Iran, targeting multiple, if not dozens of targets across Iran. I'm told from well-placed sources that this is going to go on a matter of days, if not longer. John.
All right, Jennifer Griffin. Wow. You mentioned the standoff assets, the Tomahawk missiles, and so forth. So far, no response, as far as we can tell, from the Iranians. Clearly, whatever these attacks have targeted, and as you mentioned, there are far more attacks than the one column of smoke that we see rising over Tehran. Whatever they have targeted, they seem to have at least set the Iranians back on their heels to the point that they've not, to this moment, been able to launch any kind of a response.
Well, I think, John, what is unusual, and you've heard Lucas talk about this, is that this is a daytime strike. One of the problems with the last set of strikes last June is that the playbook of when to carry out in a certain time frame and perhaps with no moon, none of that applied to this operation because this operation had to have an element of surprise, and it's hard to have an element of surprise each time when you see such a large military buildup, as we've seen in recent days. Really, the largest naval buildup and air buildup that we've had in the last 20 years in the Middle East.